What's good, everybody? It's the Big Hoagie here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to master a track or replace Ozone 9 elements that I previously mentioned in my template video. Before we begin, today's joke: why did the cat cross the road? Because the chicken had a laser pointer. Gotcha there. All right, so let's jump into it. I have this beat here. Yeah, I titled it Quedeca because I was trying to make a Quedeca type beat. If you know who he is, good. Shout out Quedeca. Pretty talented rapper. So here's here's the main portion of the track. I'll just play it for you. Now this portion of the track has no Ozone 9 elements on it. So I'm going to put Ozone 9 elements on. And sometimes I actually feel doing it manually does sound better, but for the sake of time, I always just use Ozone. So this is with Ozone on. Okay, and then I'm going to be showing you how to replace Ozone with these 5 plugins, either free or a stock Logic plugin. This is what it sounds like. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump into it. So it's the same template as I described in my template video, but we are going to discuss the ending here. So again, I had Ozone 9 elements on, but I am showing you what plugins to use. So the first one I apply is a channel EQ. This EQ boosts the high-end instruments. So this is more like for my clap, snares, hi-hats, even some perks, or even open hats. It just boosts that high end, helps balance out the track a little bit. You can also cut the low end if you want, reduce the bass. I usually just do some minor stuff. So in this case, I added an EQ at 3 decibels, boosted 3 decibels, I should say, at a 2000 hertz. Just did a high shelf. And that's all I did for the EQ. I then pulled up, first to access EQ, go to EQ and do channel EQ. To do the next plugin, you go to Dynamics, and I go to Multi-Presser. And my multi-presser you go up to the top for presets, and I click on Final Hip Hop Compressor. I try to keep everything as basic as I can. After I do the Final Hip Hop Compressor, I make sure to turn auto gain off. So there is that, and that's all I do with that one. Then I have an isotope plugin called Ozone Imager. So go to Audio Units, Isotope, and Ozone Imager 2. This is a free plugin, highly recommend it. And this is how I add some stereo width onto my track. For this track, and for most tracks, I do a 20% width, and make sure you click the stereoize button up here. Make sure it's blue, as mine is. I believe the default is 6 milliseconds, but I changed it to 8 milliseconds, and I do mode 1, and I believe the default is 2, so make sure it's 1. Those are what I use. You can choose what works best for your tracks. But this is how I add some width, and when you hit play, it'll show you some stuff. But make sure you don't have any red. You don't want red on the rim. I'll show you the plugin step by step, adding these plugins at the end. The next thing I use is Dynamics Adaptive Limiter right here. I have the out ceiling to -1 dB with true peak detection. Most times when you publish a song onto a streaming services, they go based on true peak. So that's why I have true peak detection on, and I like to have it at -1 dB. I always apply whatever it says the optimal look ahead is. Right now it says 20. Usually when I hit play, it said 24, so that's why I have the 24 applied. But always apply the optimal look ahead. And then lastly, you just move the gain up until it's not distorted. Um, and you want it to have a certain volume. You don't want the reduction to be like 30 or anything crazy. You want it to be somewhere around the 5. I'd say no more than 5 is a good dB reduction number. And this adaptive limiter is to just increase the volume of your track. So the EQ is just to kind of balance out some sounds. Multipressor is to do some final compression to your track. Ozone for the width. Adaptive limiter for the volume. And then the last thing I have here is after I apply everything, I pull up the multimeter, and to access the multimeter, you go to metering, multimeter. You can also do loudness meter. Both are acceptable. I like multimeter because it just looks like you know what you're doing. And you're looking for this LUFS loudness units or something about integrated units. But what I shoot for is around the 11 range. So I shoot for the minus 11. Anywhere around there, I feel is a pretty good number to shoot for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the track and with all of these off, and I will slowly add these on. Watch your ears; it may be louder at certain moments. So there's the track. And then I add the EQ to boost the highs, a little crispier. I add the multipressor to compress everything, kind of makes it quieter. I add the ozone imager for width. It's a little harder to tell because it is quieter. Adaptive limiter. It allows me to gain the volume. And if I pull up the multimeter, you can see I'm actually hitting minus 12. So if I pull up the adaptive limiter and I boost it to like 8, you can see it was hitting negative 11. I'm actually running everything on my computer is about to make me crash. But yeah, so that's what I used. So you can see the optimal look ahead was 22, so I just applied that real quick. So yeah, those are the plugins I would use if I were to replace Ozone elements. Like I said, I just use Ozone because it's quick, easy, does it for me. If you do save these into a template though, it could work better, if not just as good. So those are the plugins I would recommend. Again, Ozone Imager 2 is a free plugin. I will put a link to that in the description. Free Clip and NB Meter 2 are also free. I will put those in the description. If you haven't saw my template video yet, go ahead and do that. And it'll maybe make a little bit more sense on how I have everything routed in here into the mix. So that's everything today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.